Well, hello, football fans, and welcome to this edition of the Randall Mill Pharmacy, Billy Skinner, Lamar Viking Football Coaches Show. I'm Bill Frawley, and with me, as always, of course, Lamar Athletic Coordinator and Head Football Coach Billy Skinner. Coach, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be hanging out with you today. Uh, it, life is good.
I love it. It's a new sense of normalcy for me also to be doing
Yep.
this again with you. It means fall is here, even though it's summer, but and football season is right upon us. And so, hey, I want to acknowledge you probably caught it in the intro. Randall Mill Pharmacy, who's been a longtime supporter of Lamar Athletics, is our official coaches show sponsor this year. So thanks again to Randall Mill Pharmacy and all that they do for the North Arlington community and Lamar High School athletics of all types.
Absolutely. No, that's awesome.
Well, Coach, let's jump into some stuff. It's been a while since we've talked. Let's go back, if you don't mind, to late spring. Unfortunately, well, whatever the case word is, but weather forced everything that was going to be outdoors for your typical spring event inside to the MAC. You were gracious and allowed people to come watch, stay behind the proper line so they don't get run over and stuff. But if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about what happened at that event and how that helps launch things into the summer.
Oh yeah. So yeah, we took a kind of the preemptive step of it looked like the weather was going to be bad and we weren't going to be able to get outside, but I wanted I wanted it to go on. I wanted to make sure that we could still go and compete and do those things. So we brought it into the MAC. We actually did it during our athletic period. So everything was supposed to be in the evening. That evening was supposed to be ugly. So brought it in. And I'm telling you, it was an absolute blast. We started with our big man competition, and this year we mix it up a little bit. Normally we have those guys out there flipping tires, and we've got them out there doing really hard stuff. I mean, they're the big guys. But this year we decided let's have a lot of fun with it, and we had the big man 7-on-7, and so those guys getting out there, getting to compete. I found out we've got some pretty athletic offensive and defensive linemen because they were making some really impressive catches and sometimes not, but it was a lot of fun to watch. Our principal Miss Maroney came out, Dr. Nick Thompson came out, and they were our honorary head coaches for each team. And just having those two involved in it was an incredible experience. And then we did our varsity 7-on-7, and that's where the offense versus the defense skill guys, and it was fun. It was explosive. We split it up. It was gold, navy, and it ended up going into about quadruple overtime. We had to end it with a rock paper scissors so that we could get everybody out to lunch. We had to end it with a rock paper scissors between Miss Maroney and Dr. Thompson, and Miss Maroney actually she won it for her squad. So it was a lot of fun. It was something that we talked to our kids about sudden change. We talked to our kids about having to adapt whenever things happen in life, and it was that for them on that day. So we knew we had to adjust quickly. Everybody was ready to go, and we were just so appreciative of everybody who was involved.
Awesome stuff. Well, that was a great event, and I'm so glad you were able to be innovative, you and the other coaches, and find a way to make it still happen, even if it changed up. And I like how you mentioned you change up even some of the activities and events, and keeping it fresh, keeping it
Yep.
new, and just it can be easy to get sort of just caught up. Well, we did it this way last year, we'll do it again. And I know the fans and the players appreciate all of that. Hey, you might notice in the background here, I'm in a hotel room in Fayetteville, Arkansas, doing the show this morning as we recorded on Wednesday. Moving my son David, who both of my sons are products of the Lamar athletic program, both played baseball all 4 years, both played football their freshman years. But I just want to give one more shout out to you and the guys because David finished up his first bachelor's degree in 3 years and was
Oh
on
wow.
baseball scholarship all 3 years at Ecclesia. And now he's enrolling at University of Arkansas, not on baseball scholarship,
Hey,
but to get another degree in 2 years. But again, I just want to give my own personal shout out to all of you men and ladies that help form these boys into men. And two of my sons are good products of the Lamar Viking athletic program.
oh, that fires me up to hear. I love to hear Vikings going on to higher education and going on to that next level and doing it at a high level. So congratulations to you and to your boys, and I'm so excited for them.
Well, thanks for that. Thanks for allowing me to have my own little personal shout out as well as complimenting you guys. Coach, I pay attention to the Sports U posts that you and the other coaches do, and I was just pulling some of them back up. And here's one. It's not even about an event. It's just players. The two most important words over this weekend, and this is like I don't know 8 days ago or something. Rest and hydrate. And you're reminding the guys on the weekend, hey, down some water, keep hydrated Saturday and Sunday, so you're not starting fresh on Monday when the workouts are going to begin. Do you mind telling us a little bit about how important that strategy is and what kind of feedback you get from the players and maybe even families? I don't know.
Well, it's from experience. Sometimes we'll remind them day of whenever practice starts, and we've been guilty of that in years past. And we get there and we're halfway through practice, and you got guys catching cramps and those kind of things. So just taking those experiences and sharing them with the kids, and hopefully it resonates, because this group that we've got right now, they are workers. And sometimes you've got to remind them that, hey, it's okay to sit down and relax and allow your muscles now to regenerate because of all of that work that you just did. Sometimes you've got to let them rest. And then just we were all 15, 16, 17-year-old boys where, Dr. Pepper all summer and Sprite all summer. Well, hey, sometimes you gotta incorporate a little bit of water in that mix too. So we just want to make sure we give our kids every opportunity to be successful before going into the season.
Well, good job on all that. I'm glad there's some good participation and understanding of what's important to, if some of them need to convert from sodas and other things back to water or whatever. So, hey, speaking of some fun things that you've done, tell us a little bit about and I'm going to get the exact name of the activity wrong, but the haircuts, hot dogs, and
oh
it
yeah,
was cuts, chomps, and something.
it was chop, chill, or chop, grill, and chill. See, I messed it
There
up
you
too.
go. Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to, you know what? This was actually Brian Williams, so Braylon Williams' dad. He
Okay.
came to me over the summer and he's like, Coach, we need to put something together for the community, some kind of back to school haircut. He knew a couple of barbers that wanted to come in and help. And then one of our former Lamar Vikings, Daniel Dominguez, he was here. I guess he graduated last year, and he actually cut my hair one time last year, and it was awesome. Well, he's in barber school, and so he actually got me in contact with the director of his school, and she was able to bring 12 to 15 barbers who came. And yeah, on Sunday we invited the community up. We invited all the North Arlington students that needed a haircut. We invited them in. Adnan from I don't want to mess this up. He's in the Rotary, and I know it was the North Arlington Rotary. Now it's like the Northwest Arlington Rotary. Always going to be North Arlington for me though.
Yeah.
Adnan came in and he grilled up hot dogs, and we had a good time. We had a great time with the community. We got to see some kids' faces again, because there were some covered faces, and they got their nice haircuts and edge ups and all that good stuff. And we got to just fellowship and spend time with people in our community.
Well, what a great way again to, as you mentioned, relate to the community. It wasn't just quote a Lamar athletic football thing. It helped reach out into the community and give more visibility to what's going on and people to serve each other in certain
That's it.
ways.
That's
Yeah.
it. No, and
Okay.
it was awesome to see these kids, and just you see the confidence. You see the confidence when they get up from that chair and somebody just gave them that haircut and they're looking really good, and you could just they swell up with a little bit of pride. So just
Yeah.
to see that and kids walking out with those smiles on their face and getting to hang out with some of our guys. After they get their cut, I'd say, "Hey, I've got some football players down on the turf if you want to go play a little football with them." And a lot of kids jumped at that opportunity. So it
Nice.
was neat. It was neat to get kids out and get out and see them interact with our guys and see our guys interact with them. It was a lot of fun.
All right. One more activity that was, I believe, just last Saturday, the watermelon feed.
Oh yeah.
So, man, you have to tell you, I kind of wish I could have stopped by, but had stuff going on that inspired me. I haven't had watermelon in ages. I went and bought some and ate. My gosh, it brought back some memories of watermelon seed spitting contest. I don't know
Yep.
if y'all
Uh-huh.
did that at all or not. It already depends on the exact venue. You don't want that stuff going somewhere, but How did that help out again in relating to building camaraderie, parents involved, all that type of stuff?
It was incredible. I mean, I think one of the cool things about Lamar High School is that we are just this massive melting pot of different backgrounds, different families, and those kind of things. And so we made the call for people to bring watermelon, people to come and cut up watermelon, and all of those things. And so just to have that large group of families together, because it's not just the players. I want families out there, little brothers, little sisters, moms, dads. We want anybody and everybody that's involved with Lamar football out there during that time. And so just a chance to rub shoulders with all of those people and share some watermelon. And I made a call during our parent meeting. I told them I love tahine on the watermelon. And I'm telling you, I think they probably brought about 25 bottles of tahine. And so there was all you could handle with tahine and watermelon. And it did not disappoint.
Good. Yeah. You know, when I was growing up, a little bit before you grew up, but people would put salt on watermelon. I never
Yep.
got into that. I just liked it the way it came, and I would eat it down to that rind, you know.
Yep.
But the tahine has really caught on.
Oh, it kicks it just a little bit and it's good. It's solid.
All right. Well, speaking of kicking it, let's kick over now to how y'all been prepping for this fall season. What's been going on with the fall camp and everything else? I don't want to mess up any terminology, but
Yeah,
how's everything progressing with, and I understand there's two freshmen, two JV
that's
again.
correct. Yes,
Nice.
that's correct. So we just wrapped up yesterday fall camp, quote unquote. And that's really 8 days, 8 practices of just butt kicking. I mean, we get up for 7 of those 8 practices. They were at 5:30 in the morning. So we had our kids reporting here to the MAC, and we always every year I look at the guys. I'm like, are we doing the right thing? Are we sure they're going to be here? And then you look up, and with just the JV and varsity alone, you've got 115, 116 kids out there showing
Wow.
up consistently every single day. And then you go to your freshman group, and you've got 50 kids showing up every single day. That's extremely encouraging. Um, One of the other things that I talked about in our parent meeting and in our team meeting was we're allowed to be more competitive because we have more kids. We've got more kids in certain positions that now allow us to have a little bit more physical practice. It allows us to condition a little bit more, a little bit higher taxing on the conditioning piece. And so you're seeing, and we are seeing the dividends there of our ability to be more physical. We are seeing after we get done running and offensive linemen aren't necessarily bending over at the waist and getting as worn out. So I am extremely excited by that fact that you can just see the difference in physicality, and then you can see the conditioning start to come together. And then from a football standpoint, I mean, there are definitely some wrinkles that we're putting in on both sides of the ball. We've got some exciting kids that are doing some really, really good things. I'll tell you right now, this wide receiver room could be one of the best wide receiver rooms that I've been around, and how much they play for each other. Seven Ogletree, Jesse Little, Camille Pruitt, Greg Peoples. These guys are out there blocking their faces off for one another. And we're getting some big plays just because those guys are getting after it for each other. Deontay Gentry is another one. He had a block in our scrimmage on Saturday versus a defensive lineman that, I mean, we're doing helmet stickers this year. So you do something good and you get a helmet sticker. And I texted, I was like, hey, dude, that is helmet sticker activity, because I mean, he gets that guy on his
Nice.
back and he's driving him into the ground. So, just the football piece of it is extremely exciting because we're seeing the system kind of coming to life. And so I'm extremely excited for our kids. I'm extremely excited for the guys that have worked their tails off. I mean, Gannon Carey has been our starting quarterback since he's a sophomore. He's getting ready to start his 21st game. Think about that. He's
Wow.
getting ready to start
Wow.
his 21st game. And it looks like it whenever he's operating our offense. It looks like it whenever we go out there and we're working tempo. I mean, it's just there's a different feel. So very excited from that piece as well. A lot of great things happening.
Well, you've hit on a couple of really important things that I want to kind of rehash or re-emphasize. One, Lamar is a melting pot of backgrounds, and I think football, as much as anything else, maybe more than a lot of other things, just because of the vast numbers of student athletes
Right.
involved, it brings them all together. And guys that might not necessarily hang out, do things together, are doing football together and supporting each other, protecting each other. And I think that's just a unique opportunity that some people might overlook in some ways.
I think it's one of those reasons that people play sports. And then when they get out, I've always heard this, when you're done with your sport, you always want to get back into that locker room. And I just remember those relationships that I built when I was a player. And I'm seeing those relationships now. I mean, because you have kids who come from a lot and are very well to do, and you have kids who, are from the complete opposite situation. And you see those guys build that brotherhood and build that bond and would do anything for one another. And that's beautiful. I mean, that's if the country could look and see a high school football locker room or a volleyball locker room or those kind of things, and just see that, hey, we can actually all get along and and do pretty good
Yeah.
things together too.
Yep. No, you're definitely correct. So now coming into the end of this week in a couple of days, I believe the first scrimmage of the season.
Yes, Friday, it's go
What
time.
do and is that is it Cravens?
So we're gonna be obviously we're the heat will dictate a little bit of what that looks like. We are planning on starting at 5 o'clock for our freshmen and JV. If it's dangerously hot outside, obviously we're going to move them into the MAC. We'll set it up where parents can stand back behind, kind of like what we did
Yeah.
with the 7-on-7 thing. So we'll make those adjustments as we get closer. And then the varsity is going to kick off at 6:30. This is a little bit different. This is more of a joint practice than it is scrimmage for the varsity. So there are going to be some things that we don't want seen, and so part of our activity will be in the MAC, and that will be closed to spectators and those kind of things. But then we'll get on Cravens, and we'll do a little bit of the traditional scrimmage, where we run plays in front of everybody and all of that good stuff. So it's different than something that we've done here and hosted here on campus, but I think it's going to be positive for all the Vikings, the Nimitz Vikings and the Lamar Vikings. So Coach Small and I, we've had a great conversation about it, and we're excited to get it going.
Excellent. So all Vikings should have a great Friday. That's what you're
That's it.
saying.
That's right.
And so will it be kind of basically each team possessing the ball for a number of downs, that type of thing, as opposed
Yep.
to timed quarters?
Right. So yeah, that's what'll be seen once we get out to Cravens. What we're going to be doing in the MAC, what other people won't be seeing is we'll actually do some run things. So our box versus their box, our offensive linemen, running backs, tight ends, all of that stuff versus their defensive linemen and linebackers. There's some things that we don't want to put out in the fresh air yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll do that behind closed doors. But then everything else, once we get out to the MAC, you'll see some 7-on-7. You'll see some one-on-ones. We'll also do, like you're saying, the old traditional, hey, you get 10 on offense, 10 on defense for us, and then we'll flip it, and then we'll play a live quarter there at the end just to kind of feel the football.
Gotcha. And just out of curiosity, will everything be going on all at once? Will there be something happening at the north end zone, kind
Yeah.
of half of the field, something else at the
Yes.
south end of the field?
Yes. We will not lack for things going on. So
Okay.
it might be hard to keep up with. I'm going to send you and Jay Ryan a script as well, just so y'all see it beforehand. But we'll
Okay.
definitely be active all over the place.
And you're the ringmaster.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's for sure.
Yeah, sounds great. Well, Coach, hey, if you don't mind, how about a shout out? Just talk a little bit about the importance and value of the Booster Club.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you right now, that has been a highlight um, of this place of Lamar High School. We've got an incredible booster club that they pour their everything into it. I mean, anytime I get a wild idea, there's not a coach, we can't do that. It's a coach. Here's how we're going to make that happen. And so, we've got great people on our board. We've got Garrett Carey and Shannon Carey, who I'm telling you, they are just the salt of the earth. And then you've got Jeremy Austin and J.R. Walker and Lori Ford, who is absolutely incredible. Not only does she do a great job with that, but then she brings her camera out and takes great pictures. Tabitha Reyna, who might be the most organized person on the face of the earth. She's our
Yep.
secretary, and we're super blessed with fantastic people. And we've got more who want to be involved. And so it's good to see that group growing. And we're always looking to get more people in that group because, it literally takes a village to do what we want to do here, and that is serve their kids. So we're blessed with great people.
And how great it is to see some of the people that don't have kids in the program anymore. I think of like
Yeah.
J.R. Walker. Did
Oh,
he help build Cravens Field by
he might
chance?
have. I think I do. I seriously think he did.
I love seeing that guy. And just one example, I don't want to try to go through all the names, but there's someone who doesn't even have a kid in the program and is there supporting it and doing everything he can and being a leader with that.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
Coach, what else would you like to tell us on this inaugural Coaches Show sponsored by Randall Mill Pharmacy before this first scrimmage comes about or anything else?
Well, let's see. I'll make a call. I'll make a call for Gatorade. We're back.
Oh, yeah, please. Yeah.
We're back, and so one of the things we like to do is we like to make sure that our kids, after every time they compete, they get a bottle of Gatorade. If nothing else, they get something sugary and sweet to drink after they get done competing, and they get to replace those electrolytes and all of that good stuff. So, in order for us to make that happen, we always call for any donations of 20-ounce Gatorade bottles. It can be Gatorade, it can be Powerade, it can be Signature Plus. I mean, we do not turn any of it away. Just if you reach out to me, I'm always here at the Mac. I've just put a couch in my office, so I can. Sometimes
I'm
I
going to
live
come in
here.
for therapy.
Sometimes I live here, so there's a very real chance that you will run into me, and if you want to drop off some Gatorade, it goes to our boys, and just we make sure that we take care of them every way that we can.
Are there most popular or favorite colors slash flavors?
It's so
Okay.
eclectic. I mean, again, it's the melting pot. So you see some people will turn their nose up to blue, and others who are insulted if they don't get the blue. So I mean,
Okay.
it all goes. I can tell you that.
I still remember when my kids were little and all the early age youth activities and maybe older. But hey, what's your favorite flavor of Gatorade? Red. That's not a
Yeah. Oh
flavor,
yeah.
but oh yes, it
It
is.
absolutely is a flavor.
All right. All right. Well, Coach, man, I sure appreciate you making time for this. We'll get this posted as soon as possible and we'll meet up again in the next several days and see how things are progressing and what you want to let out of the bag, if anything.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, one more time, thanks to Random Mill Pharmacy for sponsoring this coaches show. I'm Bill Frawley with Lamar Athletic Director and head Viking football coach Billy Skinner saying VFND.
VFND.